Bhakta-vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Nishavatarekan Tat Prakasham Statat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sanghyakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaurudaya Pushpavanatau Chitrau Sandau Tamonudau Grantherarambha Kori Mangalacharan Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Tinera Smarana Hoya Vigana Vinashana Anayase Safal Nija Vanchita Purana Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipful devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Sri Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 7, entitled Sri, the Lord in His Five Features, Lord Chaitanya in His Five Features. We are reading about the sannyas ceremony, or the sannyas, like why Lord took sannyas. Basically, for the deliverance of the people who were going against the dharma, who were criticizing the Lord, who were criticizing the devotees, or many so-called logicians and offenders, etc. So that was the reason. Let's continue further from text 38, chapter 7. Sabha nistarite Prabhu Kripavatar, Sabha nistarite Kore Chaturi Apar. Actually, we have read this verse, so we'll read from 39. तबे निज भक्त कोइला यतम्लेच्छ आदि सबे ताई दिला सबे इडाइला मात्र काशीरा मायावादी. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. All were converted into devotees of Lord Chaitanya, even the Malichas and the Yavanas. Only the impersonalists, followers of Shankaracharya, evaded him. Purport. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that although Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted the Muslims and other Malichas into devotees, the impersonalist followers of Shankaracharya could not be converted. After accepting the renounced order of life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted many karmanishthas who were addicted to fruitive activities, and many great logicians like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Nindakas, blasphemers like Prakashananda Saraswati, and Pashandis, non-devotees like Jagai and Madai, and Adhama Paduyas, degraded students like Mukunda and his friends. All of them gradually became devotees of the Lord, even the Pathans, Muslims, but the worst offenders, the impersonalists, were extremely difficult to convert, for they very tactfully escaped the devices of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In describing the Kashira Mayavadi, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has explained that persons who are bewildered by empiric knowledge or direct sensual perception, and who thus consider that even this limited material world can be gauged by their material estimations, conclude that anything that one can discern by direct sense perception is but Maya or illusion. They maintain that although the absolute truth is beyond the range of sense perception, it includes no spiritual variety or enjoyment. According to the Kashira Mayavadis, the spiritual world is simply void. They do not believe in the personality of absolute truth or his varieties of activities in the spiritual world. Although they have their own arrangements They have their own arrangements which are not very strong. They have no conception of the variegated activities of the absolute truth. These impersonalists, who are followers of Shankaracharya, are generally the Kashir Mayavadis, impersonalists residing in Varanasi. Near Varanasi, there is another group of impersonalists who are known as Sharanath Mayavadis. Sarnath Mayavadis. Outside the city of Varanasi is a place known as Sarnath, where there is a big Buddhist stupa. Many followers of Buddhist philosophy live there, and they are known as Sarnath Mayavadis. The impersonalists of Sarnath differ from those of Varanasi. For the Varanasi impersonalists propagate the idea that the impersonal Brahman truth is truth, whereas material varieties are false. Hmm. But the Sarnath impersonalists do not even believe that the absolute truth or Brahman can be understood by the opposite of Maya, can be understood as the opposite of Maya or illusion. According to their vision, materialism is only manifestation of the absolute truth. This is a little bit longer purport, maybe the devotee can read. So, just to sum up till here, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, after Lord took sannyas, gave mercy to anyone and everyone, even the Malechas. Mm. But one people of the Mayavadis or the impersonalists were were expert in evading the mercy, right? So there are different gradations of even non-devotees, right? There are different gradations of devotees and there are different gradations of even non-devotees. Someone who is karmi, like sense enjoyer, and versus someone who's like completely offender, like impersonalist, who was like blaspheming God or negating there's no God, material world is everything, the world is meant to enjoy, or the whole idea of there's no God or God is some light, God is some dot, or excluded the variegatedness. The impersonalists, they are offenders. Mayavadi bhasha suniye, hoila sarvanash. So one should be expert in identifying, because these are the people who are not just experts in their own philosophy, in their own so-called wrong philosophy, but they may even kind of, pull us in the wrong direction. And these few places like Sarnath, Kashi, etc., this is like the seat of Mayavad. Mm. There are a lot of Shankara followers, so there one has to be careful, basically, to choose one's association carefully. Lord gave mercy to Jagai, Madai, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, etc., etc. But these were little, as we say, hard nut to crack. Right? They were a hard nut to crack. Some people, even we see in Krishna consciousness, some people take it very easily. They may have whatever done in the past, but they just come and take it easily. Some take more time, some may take lifetimes, but still, right? So one has to do one's best. Let's see further. Let's read these two paragraphs. Yes, Ruby Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotee Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Factually, both the Kasira and Saranath Mayavadis, as well as any other philosophers who have no knowledge of the spirit soul, are advocates of utter materialism. None of them have clear knowledge regarding the absolute or the spiritual world. Philosophers like the Saranath Mayavadis, who do not believe in the spiritual existence of the absolute truth but consider material varieties to be everything, do not believe that there are two kinds of nature, inferior material and superior spiritual, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, neither the Varanasi nor the Saranath Mayavadis accept the principles of Bhagavad Gita due to a poor fund of knowledge. Since these impersonalists who do not have performed spiritual knowledge cannot understand the principles of Bhakti Yoga, they must be classified among the non devotees who are against the Krishna consciousness movement. We sometimes feel inconvenienced by the hindrances offered by these impersonalists, but we do not care about their so called philosophy, for we are propagating our own philosophy as presented in the Bhagavad Gita as it is and getting successful results. Theorizing as if devotional service were subject to their mental speculations, both kinds of Mayavadi impersonalists conclude that the subject matter Bhakti Yoga is a creation of Maya and that Krishna. Devotional service and the devotees are also Maya. Therefore, as stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mayavadi Krishna Aparadhi. All the Mayavadis are offenders of Lord Krishna. Caitanya Caritamrita Madhya Lila 17.129. It is not possible for them to understand the Krishna consciousness movement. Therefore, we do not value their philosophical conclusions. However, experts such quarrelsome impersonalists are in putting forward their so-called logic. We defeat them in every respect and go forward with our Krishna consciousness movement. Their imaginative mental speculation cannot deter the progress of the Krishna consciousness movement, which is completely spiritual and is never under the control of such Mayavadis. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Mayavadi Krishna Aparadi is basically one who is trying to say, hey, this is all Maya, Krishna is Maya, Bhakti is Maya. Bhakti, see the three Bhagavan, Bhakti, and Bhakta. This is actually the real eternal truth. But the Mayavadis are saying totally opposite. Their imaginative mental speculation cannot deter the progress of Krishna conscious movement. So, one can concoct whatever one wishes. There are a lot of people in this day and age who say, oh, there is no God, I am God, he's God, she is God, we are all God, you know, or there is no God, God is just illusion. I mean, so many people, majority of the population is falling in, you know, just wants to get God out of the picture, right? But whom do we follow? Do we follow our mental speculative philosophies, or do we follow the words of eternal, unchanging words of Guru Sadhu Shastra? Bhakti, Bhagavan, and Bhakta are the three eternal things. Rest, everything is Maya. Rest, everything is just temporary. Rest, everything is momentarily. So, as we say, what is night for sages is day for the uh, materialist, and what is day for the materialist is night for the sages. Right? Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami. Yasyam jagrati samyami sa nisha pashyato mune. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 mentioned that time of night is the awakening of for time of awakening for sages. So Mayavadis ignore Krishna, make it illusion, but this is the real stuff. This is opposite, right? Opposite poles. Material world is a reflection of the spiritual world, so it's a reflection. There is variegatedness. Now, there is variegatedness here also in this world, right? Like we may like pakoda or whatever our favorite dishes, like let's say gulab jamun or pastry or whatever, cake. Everyone likes some things, right? Or rasagolla or samosa, whatever. But honestly, think about whatever your most favorite is. If you eat 3 times a day for 30 days, and that too like three quantities, like three gulab jamun in the morning, three in the afternoon, three in the night. Next day, three, three, three. Next day, more three, three, three. Next day, oh more, four, four, four. Imagine what will happen after 30 days. Even after 2 days, 3 days, you'll say, bas, I'm done. I'm done for the whole month for my quota of gulab jamun. Right? It will become that same thing will become. So we want variety, right? Variety, as Prabhupada refers, variety is adds to rasa. Mm. So if there's variety in the material world, where is it coming from? There is certainly spiritual variegatedness, which the Mayavadis ignore or don't want to hear or don't want to understand. Neti, neti, shanti, 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 right? The Buddhist philosophies. So, any comments, thoughts on this connection?
Prabhuji, the mm, Mayavadi philosophy is very dangerous to the society.
Mhm. Therefore, we need to preach more and share more books, more Krishna consciousness, more Harinam.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, these days, so many people, because, you know, it's to go in the wrong direction is easy, right? Like the child naturally would want to go in the wrong direction. The untrained mind wants to go in the wrong direction, right? Because to work towards God, that means to follow the path of bhakti. Although it's easy, but the mind would want to, like as we discussed, 1 hour movie, 2 hours movie, or some silly videos, time flies. But to read Gita Bhagavad, the mind does not want to do that. Hmm. And when we hear these blasphemous philosophy, then, oh, look at this great scholar is saying there's no God or God is illusion. So the mind wants to justify one's actions. So it's quite alluring too to hear that for those. Therefore, we have to be careful from whom do we hear? Are we hearing from the Pramanik Parampara, the bona fide Guru Sadhu Shastra? Otherwise, we'll be misled. Yes, next verse. Arun Prabhu, are you in a position to read or?
Prabhuji, I can try, Prabhuji.
Oh, great.
Dhanavad pranamam, Prabhuji. Vrindavana yate Prabhu Mahila Kasiti Mayavadi Jnana Tandre Lagila Rendite. Translation. Prabhuji, can you scroll it a little bit up? While Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was passing through Varanasi on his way to Vrindavana, the Mayavadi sannyasi philosophers blasphemed against him in many ways. Purpose. While preaching Krishna consciousness with full vigor, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu faced many Mayavadi philosophers Similarly, we are also facing opposite Swamis, yogis, impersonalists, scientists, philosophers, and other mental speculators. And by the grace of Lord Krishna, we successfully defeat all of them without difficulty. Yes, Professor.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Varun Prabhu. So this text 40 onwards talks about the next 11 verses talk about how the Lord, these Mayavadi sannyasis were blaspheming Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were the hardest nut to crack, as they say, because they were continuously saying wrong things. So when the Lord was going to Vrindavan, passing through Varanasi, um, the Mayavadi sannyasis, they were blaspheming him. So, this is a natural, we will get some opposite forces, we'll always get some challenges, some roadblocks, some um, difficult situations, even in our preaching movement. Prabhupada is sharing that. The road will always not be rosy cozy. It's like, oh, you tell someone, no, please take a book, and then they'll say, oh, thank you so much for giving me the book. Maybe you'll find someone like that. But you'll find many who will say, no, I don't want the book. Or you are crazy, like the day we were doing Harinam, some people say, oh, you are glorifying the false god, stop this, right? So there are always some people like that, but some people are very open, some people are not so open. So we don't have to lose hope or stop. Oh, this guy said, or she said, he said this to me, and then so I will never distribute books, or I'll not go to Harinam again because someone disrespectfully talked to me, or someone said anything bad about what we were doing. So we'll always find tough or difficult situations. And those are our tests actually, right? Like resistance. When we work against the resistance, like someone is going to gym lifting weight, it's like working against resistance helps to build the strength. Similarly, in our preaching movement, when we work against these forces and with more vigor and enthusiasm, as Prabhupada is mentioning here, right? With full vigor, we must continue, right? With enthusiasm, with the right philosophy, with the right words, right actions. And those opposing forces will be there, but they will strengthen our bhakti, and we don't need to stop in short. That's the mood here of Srila Prabhupada, right? We are also facing opposing swamis, this, that. But Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtana Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. If we are sincere like Arjuna and Krishna is with us, Harinam is with us, Lord Chaitanya is backing us, there will be certainly Vijay or victory. Dhruva Niti, certainly. Have faith in Krishna's words. Any thoughts, comments more here? Ms. Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Text 41. Sannyasi haya kare gayana nachana, na kare vedanta patha kare sankirtana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The blasphemer said, although a sannyasi, he does not take interest in the study of Vedanta, but instead always engages in chanting and dancing in Sankirtan. Purport. Fortunately or unfortunately, we also meet such Mayavadis who criticize our method of chanting and accuse us of not being interested in study. They do not know that we have translated volumes and volumes of books into English and that the students in our temples regularly study them in the morning, afternoon, and evening. We are writing and printing books, and our students study them, distribute them all over the world. No Mayavadi school can present as many books as we have. Nevertheless, they accuse us of not being fond of study. Such accusations are completely false. But although we study, we do not study the nonsense of the Mayavadis. Mayavadi sannyasis neither chant nor dance. Their technical objection is that this method of chanting and dancing is called um, Taurya, Taurartika, which indicates that a sannyasi should completely avoid such activities and engage his time in the study of Vedanta. Actually, such men do not understand what is meant by Vedanta. In the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Krishna says, Vedes वेदैश्च सर्वैरहम् एव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृत् वेदविद् एव चाहम्. By all by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. Lord Krishna is the actual compiler of Vedanta, and whatever he speaks in Vedanta philosophy, although they are lacking the knowledge of Vedanta presented by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the transcendental form of Srimad Bhagavatam. The Mayavadis are very proud of their study. Foreseeing the bad effects of their presenting Vedanta philosophy in a perverted way, Srila Vyasadeva compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. As a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, Srimad Bhagavatam is Vasyoyam Brahma Sutranam. In other words, all the Vedanta philosophy in the aphorism of the Brahma Sutra is thoroughly described in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus, the factual propounder of Vedanta philosophy is a Krishna conscious person who always engages in reading and understanding the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and teaching the purport of these books to the entire world. The Mayavadis are very proud of having monopolized the Vedanta philosophy, but the devotees have their own commentaries on Vedanta, such as Srimad Bhagavatam and others, written by the Acharyas. The commentary of the Gauriya Vaishnavas is the Govinda Bhasya. The Mayavadis' accusation that devotees do not study Vedanta is false. The Mayavadis do not know that chanting, dancing, and preaching the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, called Bhagavata Dharma, are the same as studying Vedanta, since they think that reading Vedanta philosophy is the only function of a sannyasi, and they did not find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu engaged in such direct study. They criticized the Lord. Sripada Shankaracharya has given special stress to the study of Vedanta philosophy. Vedanta Vakyeshu Sada Ramantaha Kaupanavantah Khalu Bhagyavantaha. A sannyasi accepting the renounced order very strictly and wearing nothing more than a uh, loincloth should always enjoy the philosophical statements in the Vedanta Sutra. Such a person in the renounced order is to be considered very fortunate. The Mayavadis in Varanasi blasphemed Lord Chaitanya because his behavior did not follow these principles. Lord Chaitanya, however, bestowed his mercy upon these Mayavadi sannyasis and delivered them by means of his Vedanta discourses with Prakasananda Saraswati and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading this verse. So, a detailed purport. I mean, if you see, before coming to Krishna consciousness, what are the few words come to your mind when you like, okay, before you came to Krishna consciousness, and like what was your typical like few words or verbs, like going to temple, like what kind of environment would you expect in a temple, or what kind of things you would want to see in a temple, right? Any thoughts? What kind of activities? Maybe some kirtan, bhajan, some deities, right? What else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we are the devotees of uh, the like devotees of Krishna, Lord Shiva, and we are chanting. We used to, yeah, we also used to go to ISKCON temple, but the main purpose was to visit the temple was like to take the darshan of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maharani, and also the other means Gaur Nitai, the beautiful deities. And for main thing was main purpose was prasadam. And we are not that much involved in kirtan dance. We are just standing in a corner and just looking the other devotees, just clapping, not dancing. Uh, so and in also in how means we are little we are hesitating to dance to uh, like nowadays we are uh, doing kirtan in very loud voice, but at that time we are little means we to do all those three things we are hesitating and those things. So also we are not chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly at that time. We're just we're Shiva Bhakta, so we are just chanting Om Namah Shivaya 108 times, doing all the pujas. Means all the deities means photos. We are doing puja like Lord Shiva was there, Shiva Parvati was there, Radha Krishna was there, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani is there with all. But after coming Krishna consciousness, we are because now we know who is Lord, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in our temple room, no other pictures, only Jagannath Baldev, Subhadra Maharani, Krishna, Radha Krishna, Gaur Nitai, and Guru Parampara. Because we know, and also Prabhuji, you are our Sikhya Guru. We learn lots of things from you. So that is the difference, Prabhuji, before and after.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mataji, for your sincerity. Yes, that's so true that before coming to Krishna consciousness, especially like the dancing, chanting, loud, right, moving in the street, um, people would consider, oh, there's some sentimentalists. Maybe they don't have anything better to do, or maybe they're not intelligent enough, right? Therefore, Prabhupada is mentioning that so Mayavadis used to say, oh, he does not take interest in studies and what. But what is the goal of study? What is the goal of study? The goal of study is to put it into practice, any study for that matter, right? Like studying about a recipe from a recipe book, or studying like, okay, how to change engine oil in the car, right? Or how to mow the lawn, right? Whatever we study, whatever we learn is to put it into practice. So we apply, whether it's medicine, engineering, software, science, anything. So the perfection of study is to put it into application. Bhakti is not an armchair philosophy that we keep studying. Okay, yes, we should dedicate some time during the day, in study. But our philosophy is not just to put the knowledge in the head. Too much study will make us proud. Oh, I know more verses. These people are crazy. They don't know this. Are moving around in the street, maybe distributing books, but they're not studying, or they're just jumping up and down. They don't know any verse of Gita. I know better. It will lead to pride. But Lord Chaitanya was so humble, right? So devotees must balance nicely the perfection of studies to put into practice. Nama sankirtanayasya sarva papa pranashanam pranamo dukkha shamanas tamanamamim harim param. This is the last verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The essence of Bhagavatam is Nama Sankirtan. Yagyai Sankirtana prayajanti hi sumedasaha. Sarva mantra sara, a shastra marma. This is the essence of all the shastras, to chant the holy names, to chant and dance. So if someone is, and so this is not just some speculation to chant and dance. Lord Chaitanya is showing, right, by his example. Because in Kali Yuga, our minds are not like, who can, the mind wants engagement. When we chant and dance, then naturally all the impurities are shed off, like shaked off, right? That the body has the propensity. If you don't dance in Harinam Sankirtan, people go to nightclub, discos, DJs, and what do they do? They maybe get intoxicated, dance, free mixing of sexes, and just wrong things happen. But why not we dance in the Harinam? Take prasad, pure spiritual food, share the message, become a medium of positive change in the world. And this is very, very bona fide process. That's Nam Sankirtan. The chanting and dancing is not some sentimentalism, but rather it's based on Shastra. Murkha sannyasi nija dharma nahi jane, bhavuk hoya fere bhavuke rasane. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an illiterate sannyasi. The Mayavadis are saying this, and therefore does not know his real function. Guided by only by his sentiments, he wanders about in the company of other sentimentalists. Foolish Mayavadis, not knowing that Krishna consciousness movement is based on solid philosophy of transcendental science. So important. It's not some sentimentalism. Not someone felt like chanting and dancing, or so he started doing that. So it's transcendental science, solid philosophy, based on Shastra, not just some sentimental. So these foolish sannyasis superficially conclude that those who dance and chant do not have philosophical knowledge. Those who are Krishna consciousness actually have full knowledge of the essence of the Vedanta philosophy, for they study the real commentary on the Vedanta philosophy. Srimad Bhagavatam, and follow the actual words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as found in the Bhagavad Gita as it is. After understanding the Bhagavad philosophy or the Bhagavad Dharma, they become fully spiritual conscious or Krishna conscious. And therefore, their chanting and dancing is not material but is on the spiritual platform. Although everyone admires the ecstatic chanting and dancing of the devotee, those who are therefore popularly known as the Hare Krishna people. The Mayavadis cannot appreciate these activities because of their poor fund of knowledge. Hare Krishna. So they think that these are just some crazy sentimentalist bhavuk ho gaye, don't know tattva. They don't know what is the essence of scriptures. But that's not correct. The correct, it's based on solid philosophy. What's that philosophy? Gita and Bhagavad, right? Mother Yashoda was always chanting, and they were celebrating different festivals, and all these dances like Bharatnatyam, Kathakali, Kuchipudi, etc., they're all coming from the Supreme Lord. Lord is Natavara, Vrindavana Natavara, right? So they're all coming. The devotees were chanting and dancing since time immemorial. And especially in the Kali Yuga, it's even more important because the Yuga Dharma, the inaugurator of Yuga Dharma, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself propagated this. So, what could be a greater proof than that? The Bhagavatam says that. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that. Whatever you do, yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat juhosi dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunte, tat kurushva mad arpanam. Offer it to me. The dance is an expression of an offering to Krishna. It's not to show someone's how I can spin or how I can move or how I can lift my hand. It's an expression of Krishna, to expression of devotion to Krishna. It's an expression of bhakti. It's an expression of bhava. Hmm. So it's based on sound philosophy, in short. It's not just some sentimentalist idea. It's and we must be able to back it up also, right? So the fools will say what they want to say, right? They will say you are murkha. They are saying to Lord, hey, murkha sannyasi. Hey, the sannyasi is murkha or illiterate. They doesn't know. So you see, even the Lord is not spared. Can you imagine? Even when Krishna, there were a lot of people who offended him at that time. There's still people, a lot of people who blaspheme him now. So there are always people, but it's like you spit at the sun. Look at the sun and spit. What will happen? Sun is up. The spat will come on our own face. सूरज पे थूकने से सूरज पे दाग नहीं लगता. Right? The sun will stay pure. The sun, what to speak of the spit? So many people, like the sun would not pass urine, animals pass stool here, there. The sun can purify all that. After, like if someone passes stool, after 2 days, it doesn't smell bad. All the germs, bacteria, and all are killed, right? It purifies. I mean, the water cycle, the sun purifies the whole water cycle. Pure water comes in the form of rain. So those who end up doing so, blaspheming devotees or blaspheming, speaking ill about others, what happens? We are just polluting our own self. So we must be very careful of this, to not speak blasphemy, not hear blasphemy, not be with the people who are blasphemous to Krishna or to his devotees. People, the conditioned mind likes to engage in wrong things, likes to do politics, likes to speak bad about others or make small things big, right? No one is perfect in this world, right? So we must not blow things out of proportion also, mm, because of our own envy or because of our own some bad feelings in our heart. Because it is going to cause a serious impact to our bhakti. If someone is blasphemous or someone is speaking ill about Krishna or his devotees or the Guru, Acharyas, Vaishnavas, Bhagavat, anything connection to Krishna, devotees, prasadam, books, Vaishnavas, even demigods, etc., we should never blaspheme. Devotee is amanina manadina, respect everyone. How can we speak bad about other Vaishnavas? How can we speak bad about Krishna? One should be very, very careful. Don't hear such words. Don't speak such words. Don't be with the people who have those propensities. You must choose one's association very carefully. Because blasphemy to Krishna or anything in connection to Krishna is going to ruin us. Any other comments, thoughts before we wrap up for today? We covered till text 42.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, very nice analogy you gave, like splitting to sun. If we'll split to sun, then it will come to our own. We should remember always these things.